morning, I'm Dr. Bradley Nirenblatt, and I'm an orthodontist here in Charleston, South Carolina. I have two offices, one in North Charleston and one in West Ashley. Been an orthodontist now for about 23 years, graduated from Columbia University, and at that time we had to do standard edgewise, beg, and tip edge to graduate. I've been using the tip edge bracket since about 1998, so roughly 15 years, and then switched to the plus bracket, which has the deep tunnel, shortly after that, whenever it came out. Here's the book. And I have no financial interest in the bracket. I just like using the bracket. I get great results with it. I enjoy using it. TP had called me up and asked if I would do a video on how we place the 14 nitinol wire in the deep tunnel of the bracket, and that happens when we go to stage 3, which is, and typically the way I do it is we put a 21 by 28 wire along with the 14 nitinol. And so later on today we have a patient coming in, Whitney, who we're going to be placing the 21 by 28 wires along with the 14 nitinols. And Roxanne, who's been with me for about 13 years, is really great at placing the wires. And we have our own technique of placing them. It's similar to what the book shows, but we find it a little bit easier, at least in our hands. And she's real good at doing that, and I thought I'd show everybody what it's like and how to place the wire. And just want to introduce y'all to Whitney, who's our patient. And this is Roxanne. The wires that we use are from TP. I like using this reflex nickel titanium wire, standard arch form, 14 nitinol. It's got a real slick surface, which makes it easier to place the wire. And then the 21 by 28 wire is shiny bright, standard arch form from TP. I've used these. I like the wires. They work really well in our hands. And we use the standard arch form in the 21 by 28 because I modify those to each patient. 022 wires, and we took those out and used the same arch form. Here are rectangular 21 by 28 wires, and here are the 14 nitinol wires. And we always do digital models. I've used those since about 2000.
Okay, we're ready to get started. We've got Whitney here, and the first thing I want to do is I have my 14 nitinols over here, and I've already cut one. She's a non-extraction case, so what I want to do is end the wire distal to the 5. So I'm going to start with the upper first. That's a little easier for me to do, but of course it's, everybody's different, but for me, that's the easiest one. I like to use a math file to put the wire in. Some people like to use a bird beak, but again, everybody's different. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start between the upper ones, and I'm going to make a loop in between the wire. And I'm just going to start with one side and then the other and just place that nitinol wire through that slot. And then I'm going to just push it through each bracket through the horizontal slot. And you may have to bend your wire a little bit, just according to how the tooth is positioned. And then so I'm going to go through the 5 and just stop there. And then I want to pick up on the other side and just do the same thing. This too is a little rotated, so you may have to use your finger to kind of push the wire down a little bit. Sometimes you may you may have glue in your brackets, like right on the mesia or the distal, and you may have to use a little burr to get in there and get that out. You doing okay, Whitney? Mm-hmm. Good. And you can see, I'm almost finished here, and my loop is starting to flatten out there.
Yeah, if you want to move your...
Sorry.
There.
And you can look and it's flattened out, and then you can tell like it's right in the center there. The wire. And then I'm just going to go distal to the 5 and just clip my wire on each side. And that's the upper. So now, okay, so we finished the upper, now we're going to do the bottom. The bottom is going to be a little different than the upper as far as where I start from. A lot of people may start, you know, between the lower ones. I find that a little difficult, especially if the patient has really short teeth or short crowns, because the brackets are going to be closer together. So what I do is I'll make my loop again, and I'm going to start in between the 2 and the 3 on the lower left side.
Okay. Here, let's get a shot of that. Okay.
So then again, I'm going to pick up and just...
Let's see here. Let me just grab this camera. So you're moving it distally?
There we go. There's a little piece of glue there holding us up. Just moving that through the slots again. Onto the 5. I'm going to leave that there. And then I'm going to pick up...
let's just retract just so that they can see that. Okay. So it's distal. Just leave it distal to the 5?
Distal to the 5, yep.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go through front teeth. I'm just kind of pushing it through gently. Don't have to put a lot of pressure.
And since it's a non-extraction case, we just end the wire distal to the 5.
You okay, Whitney? Almost done, sweetie. You see I'm having to pull it out a little bit more there?
Let's see.
Because my loop here.
Okay. Let's see.
So then I'm going to go back on this side and just push it a little more. Pull it a little more out the back. And then you can tell...
Let's see if the loop disappeared.
It's flattened out, it's gone. And if you look between the ones, my wire is still, I'm still centered with my midline there with my wire.
Right.
And I'll just go and just clip distal to the 5s because they're a little long on both sides.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. You did good.
How was that?
How was that, Whitney? Did you do okay? A little sore, but not too bad?
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Roxanne.
You're
this was
welcome.
really good.
Thanks, Whitney. She did a great job.
Thank you, Whitney. Okay. All right. Bye.